Hey guys, it is Saturday, August 2nd, 2025, and I'm back with some free VST plugins to help you with your musical adventures and endeavors. All right, guys, we have a lot to cover today, so let's jump right into it. The free VST plugins for today are as follows. So first up, we have an EQ here from AB Sounds. That's how I'm going to say it. The EQ is called EQP WDF1A. It's a mouthful. It's a Pultec emulation. Next up, we have Beam Haze. Yesterday, we talked about Beam Filter. Today, we're going to look at Beam Haze. This is from Lunacy Audio. Next up, from the developers, gospel producers, we have Loop Track. It is a pretty cool drum machine. We're going to get into that in a minute. Next up, we have Cymbalistic. Guess what that does? From the developer, Alan Vista. Next up, we have Fire. I'm not sure who the developer is, so I'm not going to try and guess. But this is Fire, and it actually is Fire. We're going to check it out in a minute. Next up, we have Monique. It is a synth, a mono synth for the most part. And we're gonna check that out. And last but not least, we have Latte Free, which is another synth from the developer Max Synth. And Monique is from the developer Surge Synth team. So those are the guys behind the Surge synthesizer. So let's jump to the download page real quickly. So for Latte, we go here, and pretty straightforward. You just download it. It's only a 32-bit VST. It is pretty old, and I don't think it's getting any updates anytime soon. But it's still useful, still functional. Got a decent amount of presets, and it has some good sounds, some usable things to add texture and layer. I wouldn't really use it for a main sound for the most part, but your mileage might vary. Next up, let's look at the Monique download page. So this is gonna take you to a GitHub page. So this is like the basic page. Click down here where it says visit project on GitHub. And usually when you're on a GitHub page, over on this side here, they will have the area that says releases, and they'll show you when the last time the release was updated. So this one, I guess they're done with it. The last release date was December 13th, 2021. So you click here, and then you'll see the link for all the different versions: Mac, PC, 64-bit, Linux, DMG, all that good stuff, source code. So that's how you get to that. Fire. Let's see what we got here. Another GitHub page. Like I said, scroll down here. They actually have the downloads right here. You can go to up here and click Fire to see more information about the actual plugin. This one is pretty deep. We're gonna dive into it in a second. Then we have Cymbalistic, which is a plugin, a synth, not really a synth, I would say a sample player for just cymbals. So cymbals and hi-hats, pretty straightforward, and you will see why I used it in a second. But the download on that is pretty straightforward. Did I show it? On this plugins for free. It's usually right under here, and it's usually direct. As soon as you click that, the download starts. Loop track from gospel producers. Go to their page, scroll down. I think they ask for your email or something. Hit add to cart and just follow it all the way through to the download. It should be pretty straightforward. All right, let's go back. Back. Why is it not going back? Okay, there's a glitch in the matrix. All right, give me a second, guys. Did not mean to close that. Let's bring it back up. Bring it back over here. All right, so next up, we got Beam Haze. We looked at Beam Filter. Beam Haze is a chorus plugin. That's pretty much what it is. I like the sound of this. It's pretty subtle yet effective. And of course, you can get crazy with it. And last but not least, the download page for this Pultec emulation EQ. Pretty straightforward. Download link is right here. I'm assuming this is just for Windows because that's all I see. An exe, then they have source code. And you click up here and you can get to more information about it. Screenshots, a lot of information. They go into the science and how they went about emulating the curve, structure, and response of a Pultec EQ. So they're claiming that they're staying faithful to the EQ. All right, let's jump over to the DAW, and this is what you guys heard yesterday. And then we have that kind of fleshed out. But let's check out what you guys heard yesterday. All right, so those are the chords. That was the idea. Like I said yesterday, I wrote a song to that already, just off of that vibe. And then between yesterday and today, most of the day, up until the last 10 minutes, I was still working on it, adding stuff. I was vibing. I really got caught up in the vibe. The song is coming out amazing. So we have some elements of it here. We got the music, of course, and we have a Vox. So you guys will get to hear that. So this is the progress from yesterday to today. All right, so that's pretty much intro, first verse, going into the chorus. And this would be the second verse spot. All right, so let's break it down. I'm gonna have to keep looking at the blog page because there's a lot to go through. All right, so let's first look at this EQ. For the EQ, I used it to control this piano. So because this production gets pretty thick with the hook and vocals and everything, I need to roll off the piano some of the low end. But a lot of times I tend to do it, and I feel like with parametric EQs, it's a little aggressive, and the curves, no matter how much you try, they're not that natural, and it feels a bit drastic. This kind of gave me a smooth roll off that I was pleased with. So I use this to roll off some of the low end on the piano to just give a little bit of space for the other instruments that need to be down there, bass, kick, and just a little bit more space for the vocals. So I rolled off some of the low end here, some attenuation, set the low end frequency focus to 60 Hertz, then rolled off, and then boosted a little bit after the roll off, which is the whole gimmick of a Pultec EQ. So this is my first time using this Pultec emulation. It's fairly new, and it did a good job, and it seems to sound pretty clean. I'm gonna bypass it. I don't know if you're gonna hear the difference depending on what you're listening through, but let's do that. So hopefully you're listening through speakers and you can hear the difference. So that was that EP, the EQPWDF1A. That is a mouthful. They need a better name. All right, next up, what are we looking at? All right, so Beam, Haze. Yesterday we looked at the filter. Where is it? So I used it on this pad. So the pad from yesterday, no, this is Beam Filter. That's what we looked at yesterday. Beam Haze is on this pad. So I messed with these settings: decay, density, spread, scale. Go through the manual, go through the site. They'll explain what all of this means. I didn't really pay attention to that. I was just going off sound and tweaking knobs. Smear is kind of like reverb, basically. If you understand how chorus works, what chorus is, you'll understand that it is related to delay and reverb. It's pretty much delay kind of coming close to reverb with certain types of modulation. That's what makes chorus. That's what makes a flanger. Is it's not only creating extra instances, but it's also slightly changing pitch. Some of them, I forgot which one is which. Between chorus and flanger, one is doing modulation of pitch, and one is doing modulation of frequency, along with the delay time, very, very close. So it gives you either a flanger or a chorus effect. So that's what all these settings are for. So I used it on this sound to kind of soften it a little bit and smooth it out. Moving right along. So what's next? What is next on the list? Loop track. So loop track, we got a lot to go through tonight. Loop track, it is pretty much kind of like a MP3 style drum machine. The only downside for me with Loop Track, so I definitely used it for the kick and the snare. It gave me the perfect kick and snare that I wanted. I didn't have to do anything to it. I just set the settings. And that's right in the plugin. And the cool thing about this plugin is it has menu categories here. So we have default kick, but then we have clap bank 1, clap back 2, and it's a lot of claps. Then we have kick bank, and then the snare bank. There is a little scroll bar here. Don't miss it, because sometimes you roll with the mouse wheel and it skips past a couple of things in the list and you miss that certain things are here. So there is a snare bank, there is a snap bank, there are layered claps and snares, there are hats and cymbals, perk bank 1, perk bank 2, shaker bank, tom bank, sweeps, drops, and risers, and they have an effects section. So it says on the site it's over 400 samples. So it is a lot. There's a lot in here. So don't just click on these pads here. Make sure you have something like a MIDI controller, because it's gonna span, when you go to each category, it's gonna span over an octave worth of stuff. So 24 or more, most likely like about 2 octaves worth of samples per category, maybe even more. So I was able to get the kick, the snare that I wanted, and then they have these controls here, which is what really takes it over the top for me. We have reverb, we have degrade, we have saturation. So I was able to crank the saturation a little bit for the snare because I wanted a little bit more out of the snare. Then we have an EQ here, 3-band, low pass, mid, high pass. So you can tweak there. Plus they still give you low pass and high pass here. And there's a pitch knob. And right here, you have the master volume, so you could just crank that. And this right here, you can turn on and off the reverb, the degrade, the saturation, and the limiter. Over here, you can click and we have the drop down menu for size. So you can make it bigger, but you can also just click here and get right to those first 3 preset sizes quickly. So that's pretty much it for the interface. So I used it for the kick and the snare. If you notice, my kick and snare is still in the MIDI form. Only thing they need to fix on this, I don't like that, it does not respond to velocity. So it just comes out at 1 velocity. So if you're trying to do like intricate hats or something like that, where you're trying to change velocity, you might as well lay down whatever it is once, or a 4-bar loop, and then render it to audio and then drop it in a sampler and then trigger it that way. So there was a snare sound that I liked. It wasn't a snare sound, it was a sound that I wanted to layer the snare with. This sound right here, I got that from this same plugin, Loop Track. And I layered that with 3 other snares. So you're hearing about 4 different sounds layered together to give you the 1 snare sound when the chorus drops. These riser effects and reverse effects going into the chorus. That was all from Loop Track also. So I went through like their effect category and also the riser category, and I was able to get a couple of sounds. Usually when I'm doing like risers or the falls, those type of sound effects, I usually layer them together. You usually don't want to just go with one. You want to layer different ones together, different lengths, and then make them all coincide and work together as one sound. So that's these three sounds right here leading into the chorus. Then I wanted a cymbal sound, and the loop track did not have any cymbal hits. They just had a ton of reverse cymbals. But I was like, okay, that's cool. I grabbed one of those, but I needed an actual cymbal hit. So that's where the next plugin comes in, and that's Cymbalistic. So this one is pretty old. It's a 32-bit plugin. It's not resizable. It is super tiny on my 2K screen, 2.5K screen. But it's pretty straightforward. We have hi-hats, ride, crash, a 13-inch crash, 17-inch crash, 18-inch crash, 20-inch crash. There is a, what is that, 16-inch Chinese? And there's a 19-inch China cymbal. The cool thing is they show you here the different parts or the different strikes on the cymbals. So like for the crash, we have the top, we have the bell, we have the side. So if you hit the stick, the side of the cymbal, the way you would usually crash. And then we have the crash with the choke. And then we have it being hit by a mallet. And they have that for all of the cymbals, including the two Chinese cymbals. So pretty straightforward. Then there's a hi-hat, which is a different situation with the hits. We have the top, the bell, side, the close, and then the splash, like when you step on it and let it flick up. And then we have the ride. So you have the top, the bell, side, choke, mallet. So pretty straightforward, but it gave me what I needed. So I was able to use 3 hits together to achieve the cymbal hit that I wanted. So it's a combination of 3 hits you're hearing on that cymbal hit after the buildup going into the chorus. All right, so that neatly segues us into Fire. So Fire I used on Vital, which is playing the bass sound. I love using Vital for bass. And then I used Fire. So without the processing of Fire, this is what the bass sounds like. I'm gonna bypass that. So fundamentally the sound is cool, but I was able to give it a lot more body and depth, which a lot of times with my basses, synth basses, and 808s, I like to process them with plugins kind of like this. So Fire, there's another one called Refire, and the other one that I've been using a lot, Prisma, because they allow you to do multi-band processing. So let's look at this real quickly. So with this one, let me duplicate this track. so I don't screw anything up. What is happening? Okay, I don't know what happened. My program just disappeared. All right, give me a second, guys, while I try to troubleshoot this technical difficulty. Let's see what's going on. It's saying my program is not even here, but I'm still seeing it. Is my system under too much pressure? I'm live streaming while recording, while running a DAW with 2 projects open, with a lot of live instruments, a lot of effects, and it's not having it. Let's see if we can get things back up and running. Close some of these. Close this. All right, I'm relaunching my DAW. So let me just talk about Fire in the meantime. Fire is a multi-band processor. So it allows you to do wave shaping, distortion, saturation, clipping also. You can divide up the bands. I'm not sure if there is a limit on how many bands you are allowed. I've usually done, I think I did up to 3, but I'm sure you could probably do 3 or 4. Whatever you're gonna do it should be sufficient, whatever you need it to do. All right, we are back up and running. Let's try that again. All right, let me do this. I'm going to open a blank project and copy that track, paste it over there, and then try to do the demo that way. Let's see if that works. If the program is more pleased with that. But once I duplicated the track, it just was like, nope. All right, this seems to be working. Okay, so let's switch back to the DAW. This is what happens when we're live. All right, you guys will not be able to hear that until I do this. I gotta load this stream plugin that's gonna send the audio to my streaming software. Okay. Gain. All right, that should be it. All right, so now you guys are hearing that. So hopefully you're not listening to this on earbuds because you're not really going to hear that much. But It's a lot of low end frequency. So right here, we can hover right up in this upper area, and you can just click and create a division. And then once you have those areas divided up, you can select the area. And if you notice down here, the settings are changing. So you're looking at different settings. So you have 4 different things that you can affect for each band. So you select a band, and then we have right here, this is the drive, this is the ratification, which is dealing with the shape for the wave shaping. Then down here we have a compressor, and then this blue one is for the width, so you can change up the width. So see, I just divided it into these 2 parts. Let me get rid of this. So if you notice, when I'm clicking in the different sections, it's getting highlighted. And if you notice here, there's a little X. So I'm going to click that and get rid of that. So now we just have these 2 sections, which is how I initially divided it. So you can click and drag to change where you want the division to be when you are separating the bands. And then once you click over here, all these settings down here will affect this band. So we have, once again, drive settings, and under drive settings, you can change what you want to do. So if do you want to soft clip, and you have soft clipping options, hard clipping options, fold back options, and then there are some other options here: limit, single sign, logic, pit. Research that stuff. I'm not explaining all that stuff to you guys, but this is different ways to distort and add some kind of wave shaping, distortion, and or saturation to that band of frequency. So we can click here to come out of that. This is the rectification. Click on this again. It goes back, or you see all 4. Click on this. This is the compressor. Click on it again. You see all 4 options. Click here, width. So you can click in here to select the different things that you can do to affect this band, or you can click over here. So it's the same thing. They just gave you 2 different ways to select. So once you click in here, you'll see the option for the drive. And there's an output mix. Click over here, options. All right, pretty straightforward. So once you're done doing all of the settings and the tweaks for this band, then you can switch over to this band, and then same thing. Now these are the settings for this band. So if you notice, like my width setting, it's different. So if I click here, it changes, change back to this band. So these are independent settings for the bands that you have up here. Once you're done with all of that, if you notice here, we have 2 tabs. One that says band effect, which is what we've been looking at. And then there's global effect. So we click here and we got global effect. And you can set up an EQ. By default, it'll be off. And it'll look like that. Grayed out. Turn it on. And then they give you 3 bands. I'm not sure if you can add more bands, but 3 bands usually is enough for what you're doing, because you are distorting / saturating the sound. So you can focus your frequency area, and they give you the different curve types. So we have low pass, high pass, and the band curve here in the middle. And all the usual settings, it's an EQ. And that's pretty much it. And they have output and there is a mix knob. So pretty full featured for something free. And it actually sounds great. It performs well. It is resizable. All that good stuff. And you can click that button to get the EQ full screen. Click this little button right here. Right there. So very functional. Very useful. What is next on the list? All right, next I think it is Latte and the other one there, Monique. So Monique is a mono synth. It's very crazy, very animated. The big thing is this sequencer down here, and it has an arpeggiator. I really don't mess around with the settings too much. I usually just go through presets. They have a decent amount of presets. They are somewhat categorized. I think they can do this list a little bit cleaner, but like I always say, beggars can't be choosers. But that's what the list looks like. They have this old school vertical list, which is criminal in this day and age, but whatever. But I think they should clean up the way this list is. Just do it with subcategories that kind of fold out instead of just having this long scrolling list. This is like 2009 or something. It's pretty bad. But the sounds are cool. I used it for this sound. So we have a piano doing like this fast stabbing, very staccato, very unnatural, almost stabbing. And then I have Monique coming in to support it, and also Latte. So that's this right here. So we start with the piano here. And it's doing it to the chord progression. And then Monique comes in here. And then Latte. So Monique and Latte, they're panned left and right. So this is Monique. And this is what Latte is doing. One pan left, one pan right. So I think I covered everything. Yes, 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 yes. So that's pretty much it, guys. The song is coming out really great. And I'm actually doing an exercise this month where I'm going to be doing and challenging some of my cohorts and colleagues to do one song a week, full song. So starting tomorrow, I will be writing a new song, and from Sunday to Saturday. And after Saturday, Wherever it lands, that's where it lands. And then next Sunday, start a new one. So I'm looking forward to starting that along with everything else with my busy, crazy schedule. That's gonna be fun. To the limit. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. What is going on with my audio? That's pretty much it. Definitely check out those plugins. The link is in the description. I know this was a long one, but it was a lot. I got carried away with the production. I was having fun, and I was pulling all these plugins based on what I needed. Some of those plugins, I downloaded it today because I needed it. Just like the cymbal one. I just needed cymbals, and I didn't want to open like one of those live drum plugins. I just needed something focused on just cymbals and something that's not going to eat up too much CPU. So, and I don't have cymbal samples just laying around. So that was where my brain was, and it was the quickest thing. That's kind of how I work sometimes. And it's always about what's the quickest thing that I can find on the web that's gonna work. And that plugin kind of fit the bill. Cymbalistic. So definitely check out those plugins. Link is in the description. Add them to your arsenal. See how they suit your workflow and your workload. Also, there's a link in the description for my video series on PC specs and how it relates to music production. It'll help you understand how your DAW works along with your computer and its internal parts, and how the internal parts powers your DAW to help give you a smooth experience where you won't have a crash like what I had today. I think that was caused by one of those plugins, but you won't have consistent crashing. If you're having those issues where your DAW is consistently freezing, crashing, stuttering, a lot of clicks and pops, audio dropouts, a lot of stuttering when you're just trying to do the most basic thing, that series will help you understand why that might be happening and what you might need to do to fix the issue. Is it something you can add some more RAM? Is it something that you can upgrade and get a fix, or do you just need to upgrade to a whole new computer? That series will help you understand and figure out what you may need to do to rectify the issue for a smoother, more distraction-free experience. So check out that series, PC specs and music production. Also, there is a link in the description for a growing playlist for these videos that I do multiple times a week, presenting you guys with free VST plugins, 100% free, always free, not free for a limited time, not free until the 16th of the month, not free if you purchase something, not free if you sign up for this monthly subscription, just 100% free. That's what I try to present to you guys. So even with the Lunacy audio stuff, Haze and Beam filter and Beam Haze, I saw those probably a month or two ago, but it wasn't clear at the time if they were gonna be free. And the discourse around them was, it's free for right now, but now they officially have it up on their site, freebies, and it's in the free section. So that's why I'm just using it now and talking about it now, because I want to present you guys with plugins that are 100% free. So there is also a link in the description for my series that I started this year titled 52 Weeks of Reaper, where every week for 52 weeks, I will be releasing a new video every Saturday focusing on a key feature in Reaper. So today is Saturday, and today another episode launched. I think that was week 31 or 32. It might be 31 because I'm editing 32 right now, so I'm losing track of what's up and what's editing. So the latest one for today is up. Just check the date, you'll see it. Look, click on the playlist. It'll help you see and understand why I choose Reaper and how flexible and how feature rich that DAW is. So definitely check out that series if you're looking to learn a little bit more about Reaper and understand what the hype is, or if you're trying to check out a new DAW, you're looking to change, switch, definitely check that series out. It'll give you some insight on that DAW and what makes it so amazing. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's it for the live streams for the week. Check back next week as we continue on presenting you guys with free VST plugins. Like I said, I'm doing that song channel challenge this month. Starting tomorrow, you gotta start writing a song and get it from start to finish within 6 days. And I mean fully finished, like vocals, everything recorded, mixed, mastered. It's gonna be a lot. It will take discipline and focus and scheduling and planning. But I already started planning. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. Check out the other stuff on the channel. Leave me a comment if you please. Always appreciated. Until next time, you will see me in the next video.